What's up, guys? It's the Beat Street Bully Billionaire, baby. And I'm ready to break down Thursday Night Football for you dumb, degenerate monkeys. Let's go, okay? We got the Packers versus the Lions at Packers. Packers coming in as underdogs, 2.5 point underdogs, 45-point over under. What's this game going to entail? What's it going to look like? What's it going to be? Thursday Night Football could be garbage, could be a good game. Hopefully it's a good game. The conditions seem to me to be a good game setup. There are a lot of injuries, but we're playing in September. We're playing in Green Bay. There's no weather conditions so far in Green Bay as far as I've seen. So things are looking good. Things are looking up for a shootout, maybe, possibly type game, maybe a Jordan Love breakout type game. Let's break it down a little bit here. Let's talk about the Lions, the Packers, their matchups. Over the last 10 years, it's pretty split here. 10 wins, 10 losses, okay, for these teams over the last 10 years, okay? But the Packers have lost the last 3 matchups to the Lions here, which is interesting, probably something that you wouldn't expect, okay? They coming in as underdogs. I think that history is going to suggest here that we're going to lean to the Packers a little bit, actually. 10-10 over the last 10 years, been pretty even. You won the last 3. Something tells me maybe you give one back to the Pack, who just had an epic win. Now, people are going to discount the Packers. They're going to say that the Packers can't get it done because they just expended themselves, and it's a short week, and I get all that, okay? But there's some injuries here that are worth looking at, so let's take a look at some of them. Okay, on the side of the Detroit Lions, Jason Kabinda did not participate in practice. Taylor Decker limited. Jonah Jackson limited. Kirby Joseph limited. David Montgomery limited, but I believe he is going to play. Emmanuel Mosley was limited. Matt Nelson limited. Frank Ragnow, full participant. Okay, so he could be back. But this one was the one really concerning me. Halapuli Vaitai did not participate. Now, it's a big lineman piece for them, and that's going to be pretty crucial. On the other side, there's also a lot of injuries. Jair Alexander was limited in practice, so hopefully he could maybe make an appearance. They're going to need him. Zane Anderson did not participate. David Bakhtiari, a big piece, probably their best lineman, did not participate. Devondre Campbell did not participate. Rashawn Gary was limited. Elgton Jenkins did not participate. Aaron Jones was limited, but I believe he's going to play. So I believe Montgomery and Aaron Jones will make an appearance here, which is why I think a shootout or a bigger type scoring situation could be live. Zach Tom limited. Carrington Valentine limited, and Christian Watson limited, and I believe he could also make an appearance too. So we could be getting our full extent of the offense back for the Pack. So things could be looking up for the Packers here. But those are the injuries so far. No weather as far as I'm concerned. And we're going to take a look here at some of the recent history between these two teams. So here is, let's see, the last game that they played was in January 8th, 2023. Okay. Now, this doesn't really give you much. I believe they played at Packers, though, but it's later in the year. Not sure the conditions were, but I'm sure the lower scoring could have been based on the weather conditions here. But Jared Goff, 224, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Jamal Williams had 2 touchdowns, though. DeAndre Swift, 6 for 25 here. So this could be a Montgomery game if he's back, or it could be, on the other side of this play, Gibbs hasn't scored a touchdown yet. Maybe the drought continues. Usually I like to think, he hasn't scored one, so maybe he's going to just get one. Well, maybe that's just the opposite, because that's usually how you get daggered. So, you want to think about these things when you're coming back to these matchups, looking what they were able to do. Now, what were they not able to do? Nobody's going over 75 yards anywhere. But you do have a couple dudes over in receiving. You could have taken DeAndre Swift's receiving yards. Maybe Jahmyr Gibbs' receiving play could be at bay here. Khalif Raymond, 4 for 66. Amon-Ra, 6 for 49. So they kind of limited Amon-Ra. You would have thought he would have had a bigger game. Jamal Williams, they had a tougher time defending the two-back system, but they had an easier time limiting Amon-Ra, probably because Jair Alexander was there. If Jair Alexander is not there, though, they might have a more difficult time, even if he is back, because he'll be banged up and hurt. So these are some factors to consider here for Detroit going up against Green Bay. Josh Reynolds, Chark, these are some guys that they had. They'll have some different players now maybe to consider when we look at some dudes, but not really getting much. One catch here, one catch there. Really, Amon-Ra, the main bulk of the target group with Khalif Raymond and then DeAndre Swift, 7 catches. So we could be looking at Jahmyr Gibbs, and we could be looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown for some yards. Other side of things, Aaron Rodgers was able to go 205 in a touchdown, interception, in a loss. Aaron Jones, 12 for 48. A.J. Dillon, 9 for 33. Not great, but Christian Watson, interesting, 5 for 104. And Alan Lazard, 4 for 41 in a touchdown. Now, you might be asking, why am I going back and looking at these things? Well, because you may think these are different teams. These are very similar teams here than they were, you know, just a year ago. Obviously, some things change, but matchups like these are more coaching scheme dependent, and coaches are going to know things about this offense because of having to play them twice a year and watching film, breaking it down. So these games tend to play out, I feel, similarly intense in terms of, you know, how they fucking play out, monkey. All right. Alan Lazard had a touchdown. Robert Tonyan, 3 for 29. Aaron Jones, 3 for 20. Randall Cobb, 2 for 11. So they were able to move the ball around a little bit. Mainly to Christian Watson was the breakaway player. With Aaron Jones able to do a little bit on the ground. Not too much, though. You could have taken some unders here. You could have taken under passing for Aaron Rodgers. Lower scoring type of game. Okay, then we go to this game right here. This was in November. This would probably be a little bit better, more accurate in describing the game we had. 291, touchdown, 3 interceptions for Aaron Rodgers. He went also on the ground for 4 carries for 40 yards. So he had more rushing yards in the entire backfield. So the backfield was not able to really get things going on the ground here the last 2 years against this team. A.J. Dillon, 11 for 34. Aaron Jones, 9 for 25. It's garbage. Then you got Alan Lazard, 4 for 87 and a touchdown. So they were able to get it to one guy in particular. That's kind of been the MO. Get it to one dude for some big yardage, big breakaway plays. The rest of the guys just kind of get involved, move the ball around to different dudes, scramble. Christian Watson, 2 for 24 that game, you know what I mean? So this time it was fed to Lazard. He had the open ones. But still, Aaron Jones getting used around the same amount. You know, a couple gets about, 20-ish, 30-ish yards rushing and about maybe 20-ish yards receiving. So maybe you can take him, you can get him for 10 yards receiving or something. That could be a treat. Yeah. Okay. Looks like the Lions had a way to figure him out both times. What did they do versus him? 137 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for Jared Goff. Not great. Jamal Williams, 24 carries for 81. So they were really able to move the ball effectively with Jamal Williams against this squad somewhat. I mean, not massive effectiveness, but somewhat. Justin Jackson, 4 for 27. So other than that, they weren't really able to move the ball. Amon-Ra St. Brown, again, had the most receiving yards, but not by much. 4 for 55. Very defensive battle here. 3 for 40 for DeAndre Swift. So see how they used him again in the passing game. This is what they're kind of trying to do with this dude, Jahmyr Gibbs. Is the reason they got him. They replaced DeAndre Swift. He's a very similar type of player, receiving back, running back. They already got this David Montgomery coming back. He'll probably take all the downhill usage. Give me some yards from Jahmyr Gibbs this week. I think that could be a pretty easy, depending on how far you can juice it down. We got James Mitchell. I don't know who that is, and Zane Zylstra. So who the fuck are these touchdowns? That's what I'm saying. You got to watch out for these touchdowns. Of course, Kirby Joseph had 2 interceptions. So it was a very defensive battle here. All right, now we're going to go to this game right here. This was September 20th. of 2021. I feel like this is a very, maybe not, this is very one-sided here. I mean, it could be this way. It could be a blowout Packers. It could be a blowout Lions. It could be anything. You never know. But I think it's either going to be a close. I think it's going to be a close game. I think either higher scoring or lower scoring here. Maybe one team runs away with it at the end. But Packers chewed in this one. Rodgers 255 and 4. They also had Devontae Adams though, who went off for 8 for 121. Aaron Jones had 4 touchdowns. One on the ground, 3 through the air. Robert Tonyan got involved, 3 for 52. So they really just chewed in this one. But the Lions weren't able to do anything. But they had Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, T.J. Hawkinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So a very similar looking squad here, and they got buried. So that's all I'm saying is you might want to watch out. Maybe the Packers money line here could be a treat, could be too easy. It's like people are underestimating how good Jordan Love is. They're underestimating how good the defense is, even without Jair Alexander maybe in the lineup. They're underestimating how good the offensive line is. I think that they're getting underestimated on the short week thing. I don't know. I think just all in all, they're getting underestimated, and I don't want to miss out on these Packers as they just continuously chew up this year and look like a squad that might have to be reckoned with. So I know this was Aaron Rodgers. I know they had Devontae Adams, so I don't expect it to be a burial 35-17, but maybe somewhere in like the 24-21 range, somewhere like that. Could be in for a treat. All right. So what did we learn here? Let's go into the sports books and take a look at some things. Now, here is the spread for the anytime touchdown scorers. Okay, right? We got Jahmyr Gibbs at plus 120. We got A.J. Dillon plus 125. Now, one of these is probably a trap because you got David Montgomery and Aaron Jones there, and maybe none of them score, or maybe all of them score. I don't know. These ones always confuse me, and they always kind of seem like just plays that you could have just forgotten about because plus 120 is not that big of a deal. This is like Russian roulette right here. I mean, you're pretty much playing Russian roulette between 4 different fucking dudes, and so it kind of doesn't really help you. If you want to look at the other side of things, I think that maybe I like if I'm really being honest, I do like Jahmyr Gibbs or A.J. Dillon to get in, even with Aaron Jones and David Montgomery there, because I feel like without them there, they'd probably be minus odds, and somehow they wouldn't get in. But now that these guys are there, no one will play them. They'll be plus odds. They'll be too scared, and then they will get in. And you'll be sitting there like, come on. So I do think it's worth a play for Jahmyr Gibbs and A.J. Dillon. I think that's worth a play. It's worth a bet. When it comes down to the receivers, who could score a touchdown for the receivers here, obviously Amon-Ra and Christian Watson could be live, but I don't know if I'd be putting my money on these guys here. I think that if I were going to put some money on some guys on the one end, it'd probably be Amon-Ra other than Christian Watson, just because Christian Watson's coming back banged up. Amon-Ra has a better connect probably right now, and I could see him getting in. But if we're going tight ends, I think the Laporta-Musgrave battle hasn't been spoken about yet, and I really think that I'm into the Musgrave here in this showdown. I think I like Luke Musgrave to get a few catches, maybe get a touchdown. But who are some sneaky guys at some big? I mean, we got defensive touchdown could be a play. You know, a defensive touchdown could be a play here. Defensive battle, you could get somebody coming in to wreck somebody. I couldn't tell you which one. You know, if I was gonna be, who would I like? I'd probably take the Lions, I think. You know, it could be more shocking, and I just think that'd be one of those ones Jordan Love maybe makes a mistake, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Goff throws another pick 6. Because he's Jared Goff, so, But who are some big odds dudes? My boy at work, my boy Will Sheets Chetty Blast turned me on to some dude I think could score a touchdown here now that I'm looking at him, okay, thinking plus 750. It's sneaky. This dude, not Craig Reynolds, no. Dontavion Wicks, okay? Who is Dontavion Wicks? I don't know, but he's been getting some targets here. He's been getting some catches, and In a game like this, he could just be a guy that catches a touchdown. Everyone's getting interested in this Jaden Reed now. Everyone's interested now that Christian Watson's back. But no one's really talking about this Dontavion Wicks, and my boy at work pulled him up, and I've never even fucking heard of him. And so I was like, who is this dude? So I did a little research. He looks pretty good. I like what I see from him, and I think he could be a higher odds sprinkle for just an anytime touchdown score sometime in this game, maybe even live, because live it'll probably be juiced even more. You might have to be careful because who knows if they'll still offer it live. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of those dudes that I think could easily be a sneaky play here. Dontavion Wicks. Watch out for Dontavion. And who is maybe the biggest odds scorer here that could get in this one? Who's the biggest odds guy you could see? I don't see Tucker Kraft in there. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know who any of these dudes are. I think the biggest odds guy I could see maybe is this dude, Zonovan Knight. I don't know who he is. I've heard the name before. I think he did get to play a little bit. So if for something goes crazy, all of a sudden Zonovan's in there. Who the fuck is Zonovan? I mean, it's 12-1. Probably the highest odds I'd go, but that's all I'm saying. Now, let's try to look at some props. Now, what do we think here? Let's go to the over-under total. Here's what I think about this one. 45 points, it's sketchy, okay? I don't like taking over-unders, but if I was going to take one, I could see the over coming in. You know, people usually think the under, but I could see the over. Now, it doesn't come in a lot, so I wouldn't take it. I'm not going to take it, so that's all you really need to know from that. Packers plus 120 with a 50% profit boost, though, could be something. They're offering a boost. They're offering a 50% boost, and they're also offering, if your team is up 7, you win, I believe. Up 7. If your team leads by 7 points, you automatically get paid out for your bet. So you don't have to watch. Even they could come back and lose. So I think that's interesting. I feel like when they offer that type of ticket, I'm always more intrigued to go to the plus money side of things, because that way it's like if they score the first touchdown, you get paid out. Maybe they lose the game still, and then you don't have to worry about it. The 50% boost, maybe you just put it on the Packers, or maybe you just put it on the fucking Lions. You put the 50% boost on the Lions, and then just put the early win total on the Packers, and then just when the Packers go up 7-0, and then the Lions win the game, then all of a sudden you win 2 bets. So that could be something. But I actually think the Packers are going to win the game, so I'd probably take the Packers. I was on the Lions today. I was on them. I was all Lions until I saw they won the last 3 matchups, and I'm just kind of sketching me out. Packers at home. Just came off a big dub. Let's look at some quick hits, okay? Let's look at some bets here that you guys might not know about, okay? To score first, you got Lions or Packers, okay? You could bet this. It's an interesting one. Minus 105, minus 125. See, this could come in. You don't have to worry about first touchdown score. See, this is the type of field for you guys who like betting your minus 100s and stuff like that. I don't really like that. If you're into that, this could be a market for you. First scoring type of play. This could be some interesting if you're a degenerate like me who likes some big odds, okay? Away touchdown, 2-1. Away field goal, 3-1. Away safety. If some safeties come in for the first scoring type plays, you're getting paid out 70-1. Did you know that? If you can predict a safety to come in as the first play of a game this year by a home or away team, you could win some big money. You probably didn't know about that. First score method, 3-way. Touchdown, field goal, or safety. So you could actually just get either team. If you can just get the safety, it's 28-1. So if the first score is a safety, is 28-1. Coin toss, you could bet the coin toss here. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I'm probably not going to do that. Okay, let's go into a same game parlay. I want to look at some yards totals, okay, and build a little parlay. What do we think about this game? Okay, I think that we're going to get some rushing of the football, and they're not going to give us shit yet. Okay, we get a little bit of something. Alright, So they're not going to give us the alternates here for whatever reason, so whatever. We're just going to build it without. But this is what we would do here, okay? We would probably take David Montgomery's alternate over, okay, at whatever it is. Because we don't want it 50. We want it to be as low as possible. So it'd probably be like 34 or somewhere in there, minus 250 or something like that. We don't want this minus 120 bullshit, okay? Oh, now it's locked. And then we'd probably go with Jahmyr Gibbs receiving you, because I think this is the way I would go with it, would be, it's tough for me to pick between Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. I think both of them are going to go over at least 20 yards or so rushing, but I don't know what they're going to give it to you at. A.J. Dillon's at 31, so I think if you can juice him down to like 20 rushing yards, I think that could be a lock. Receiving props. I mean, like, what's up with this locking bullshit? It's like, this is some bull. I'm trying to make a vid for the people here, and you're not even showing them that you could have alternates. Okay, so Zontavion Wicks receiving yards over 15. I mean, take him down to like nothing. Take Aaron Jones, he's at 15, take him down to like nothing. You know what I'm saying? These are like, you gotta realize you could take their over-unders down. So if we could juice something down here, I like that. I like that a lot. Man, over-unders for these yards are so low. I mean, just take their lowest ones. Musgrave's over-under at 36.5. What are we, retarded? So don't take that, even though I do like Musgraves. If you can juice Musgraves down as far as you can, juice Musgraves down. Over 3.5 receptions for him. I mean, like, these are some good fucking bets here, okay? There's some good fucking bets in the neighborhood here, man. Unfortunately, because they're being fucking half retarded and they're just doing some stupid bullshit where you can't actually cook up a parlay on here. I'm not gonna be able to cook up a parlay. They've done this to me before. I don't know if it's just the iPad. They don't want you to fucking record it, or who knows. But they don't want you to see what you can bet. So talked about some touchdown scores. That's about it for this one. If you're gonna see my best bets here, follow me on TikTok. I'll post my best bets ticket on there because they're not gonna let me build a parlay here for you guys because they're half mutts. DraftKings, you stink. I mean, just come on, be better. Someone in DraftKings needs to fucking be better here, okay? This app, the whole platform, the way that you run the thing, it's set up terribly. The interface sucks. They make it just impossible to put a bet in. So forget that. We're not going to do it. I'm going to post that to my TikTok, but we're going to talk about some dudes now that I like for some yard prop totals, okay? On the rushing side, okay, can we get A.J. Dillon at 20 yards ish? Take it. Can we get it? Take it. Okay, Aaron Jones banged up. They'll probably rely on Dillon if he can get 20 yards under. Okay, we're looking for total rushing yards, alternates. Okay, when you go in there, you can say okay minus 120 for him to have fucking 36 yards, but you could then it might say minus 250 for him to have 20 or even 15. So you want to find the lowest one they offer. Put it in. Ding. That's the first leg. Then you want to find the lowest one they offer for David Montgomery. Ding. That's the second leg. Now make sure that these legs are reasonable to you. If they're not reasonable to you, then don't put them in. Just scrap them. You don't need them. I mean, if it's too much, then scrap them. If it's like 10 yards, okay, put it in. So you put that in there. Okay, then so that's rushing. Okay, then you go receiving. Aaron Jones, try to get his lowest. Okay, because he's only had 20 the last couple weeks. He's banged up. We don't know what we're gonna see from him. Maybe watch out there. But if they offer it really low, bing, throw it in. Jahmyr Gibbs, same thing. Bing, throw it in. okay? That's how they're going to use these guys, most likely. That's what you would think. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it seems to be over the last couple years. Okay, so that's my lowest totals you can get for these guys. If you can't get something comfortable, don't put them in. Okay, then go to the receiving side. Who's gonna receive the ball? Who's gonna get a lot of receiving yards? Okay, could it be Christian Watson? Could it be Amon-Ra St. Brown? Depending on their lowest ones you can put in there. Get those in there. Okay, as low as you can. Okay, a couple of them because I think they're gonna go over because the game could be a higher scoring affair here. Okay, you could have a Christian Watson have at least 50 yards, Amon-Ra have at least 50 yards. I think if they could do that, then you could put them in a parlay for them to have at least 20 some or a piece. So if they can both get over 50 in the game, there you go. Then you got, I'm going to avoid Sam Laporta because I think there's going to be too much hype. I'm going to go to Musgraves. I'm going to juice his down to his alternate lowest total. And we're going to go with Musgraves, okay? So we're going to see whatever that gives us at that stage, okay? Actually, fuck it. I wonder if they'll just offer it on here. Because I'm not going to be able to... I want to give you some odds here that you can actually rely on. Is this going to juice it up? Well, let's see what they do. Because they'll probably let me do it on my fucking phone. Alright. Rushing they don't. What the fuck is this bullshit? That's so gay. Alright. We're just gonna go juice... we're gonna dial up basically what I'm doing. And assume that we're gonna get some shit moving here at some point. See what we got. Because we're doing the same thing on the phone. I'm like, what is this? We need alternates, bruh. Otherwise, I'm not betting it, dumbass. Alright, so we got Jahmyr Gibbs receiving in there, Amon-Ra, we got Aaron Jones receiving in there. Okay. And then we need Musgraves. I mean, right now, if you just took all their fucking overs at what they're set, the line set, it's 37-1. Now, I'm assuming when you juice this, dial this down, it's going to be way less than that. But if you can get it like 8, 9, 10, 2, 1, I think it's worth a bet. Okay, if you can just get Aaron Jones at like 10, 15, 20 yards, if you can get all these dudes, because right now you got the highest one is Amon-Ra over 72.5. So if you can get him at like 35 yards or something, under 50 yards somehow, well then lock. If you can get Christian Watson, he's at 38.5. You can get you can put that in there by itself. But if you could get him at an alternate that's way less than that, then you should put that in. So we'll find out. We'll see what we got here. We'll post this ticket to our TikTok, Beat Street Sports TikTok. We'll try to get it on the tube if we can, but probably won't. I like the Packers. You know, I think they're gonna win this game. Possibly, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a hard-fought battle, but I think they're gonna get it done. I think that Jordan Love's going to show out, and I think it's going to be a nice win for the Packers faithful over the Lions, who have beaten them the last 3 years, okay? Or not 3 years, 2 years. 3 straight. So that's my picks. Those are my yardage props for this game. Hopefully that helps you understand what we think could happen here and what to go for. If you think the game's going to be a very low-scoring defensive game, maybe because these lines are set up so high for a guy like Amon-Ra 72, maybe you take his under, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you go in there and take a lot of unders, and you juice up the yardages, and then you take just straight unders. If you think this game's going to be a low-scoring shit game, you know, just do the same thing we're going here, go with the same guys I just told you, juice them up to a certain degree, and then take all their unders, you know, and maybe take the quarterbacks to throw some unders too here. So hopefully that helps you guys on make some parlays. Don't make some stupid. Don't just go in there and just bet the over, or bet the under, or bet the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Make a couple things here. You know what I mean? It's not hard to get some of these yardage props for not very many yards to 2-1, 3-1. If that's when you to bet even higher than that, I could get them to 10, 15, 20-1 if you want. I've almost hit some big ones. I've hit some big ones, and I've come very close to some even bigger ones. So trust me, it's easy. It's very possible. Okay, use your mind, use your abilities to perceive, and you can win some money here. So that's Beat Street Sports Empire. Follow us for more weekly content. We're going to break down every single game. We're going to break down the Ryder Cup. We're going to see who we like here coming up here, some props for that. We're going to try to help you win some money on that because there's some different props they're going to offer. DraftKings offering a lot of different things for that. So stay tuned for more. Beat Street, Bully, Billionaire, baby, out. See you later.